Hello. I'm trying out a new angle. Gonna see how I like it. Today is April 4th, and it is the 10th day of my diet break. It's funny because I have notes here that to help keep me on track because I ramble. And it says, Day 10 of reverse. If I was reverse dieting, it would mean that my contest was over, and yeah, I'd be reversing to maintenance, like true maintenance. Right now on a diet break, I'm at modified maintenance. And I weighed in this morning. My weight is still the same. I was 150.8. And when I started the diet break, I was 150.4, fluctuating between 150.4 and 150.8. So, my weight's the same. I consider that, I'm really surprised actually, because I'm going to move my notes right here because it's kind of getting on my nerves being where they are. I'm kind of glad that trying to not be so close to the camera so you can not be all the way in my face. I'm kind of glad that it's at the end of the diet break. I know a lot of people are thinking, they're like, oh, the diet break, it must be so great, it must be more of a mental break. But I don't feel like it has been that. I don't feel like it's been more of a mental break because I feel like it's been harder to reach my macros because I'm trying to not, first of all, it's only 500 extra calories-ish. I mean, I could push it up another 200, but I don't want to do that because I'm having a cheat, half of a cheat day, I guess. I was going to say a cheat meal, but I'll explain more about my cheat meal day which is going to be on Saturday. I'll explain a little bit more about that a little bit later in the video because it kind of goes along with something else that I'm talking about. But I'm having kind of like a half cheat day on Saturday, so I didn't want to be at the top of my calorie range this week as far as my diet break calories are concerned, because I believe it was in my last video I talked about how I was doing the diet break, and I was starting at 20% above deficit to start my diet break, and then I was going to move into 40% above deficit, and I guess I'm probably at about 30% right now because I wanted to reserve that other 10% to kind of buffer my half a cheat day, because I don't really believe in cheat days, because then that turns into like, you can really undo a whole week or two's worth of work in one day. I've done it and I've seen people do it. So that's really not something that I'm interested in doing. So I decided to stay pretty moderate through this last week of my diet break because of the cheat that I want to have at the end of the week before I go into my contest prep. Anyway, I am really, back to what I was saying, is I'm really glad that the diet break is coming to an end. This past Saturday when my dad was here, I allowed myself to loosely track. So I know that day I ate way more probably than maintenance. I know I was over 2,000 calories, and I know I was under 3,000. So that's about all I know as far as the calories are concerned. I'm not really sure where they fell. I just wanted to take a minute and just enjoy the time, and I was struggling really hard that day to keep things in line. That's another thing that makes it hard about the diet break, is that it's been hard to, because the increase in calories is coming from carbohydrate, which for me, I struggle with that because the more carbohydrates I eat, the more I want to eat. It's almost like it turns me into like this insatiable person. And yeah, that makes it difficult. So it really makes willpower come into play. Whereas generally, if I'm in deficit, then all I have to do is just bump my fats up and then leave my carbs for the end of the day, which is around my workout time anyway. So it doesn't bother me as much. It's when my calories are lower, it's a lot easier to work with the numbers because you just don't have that much deviance on either side. But when I have I'd find myself struggling with macros when it comes to these bigger numbers because I'm just like, if I eat too much protein, my body doesn't like it. If I eat too much carbohydrate, my body doesn't like it. It's like such a finicky digestive system. Like, I can't explain to you the struggle that I face. It's a struggle. Again, like I said, my steps for reverse, they were slashed from 11,700 down to 9,500, which I am right now only at 5,300, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I decided to make this video while my phone charges, and then I'm going to go get my steps in, and I'll come back and edit this. My editing has been going really well, as I'm sure you can tell with my whole 3 videos. But I'm sure it'll get better with time. Yeah, I just really feel like the content and the message is a little bit more important than cinematography. I don't know. For me, personally, when I watch people's videos, I really don't care if they have any fancy transitions or if there's some montage music in the background. It's all cookie cutter, you see the same things on every fitness channel out there, the big ones anyways. So, whatever. Yeah, my cardio this week is cut in half, and I also changed it from MISS to LISS. MISS stands for moderate intensity steady state, and LISS stands for low intensity steady state. So I went from 30 minutes of MISS down to 15 minutes of LISS 3 times a week for a total of 1.5 hours of cardio a week. That's where I'm at right now. When I go into prep, going to start with that same amount, and then of course I'll end up having to add to it because I have no idea what is about to happen and how my body is about to respond. All of this past Sunday is new territory for me. I knew that I could get where I'm at right now because I've been here before. This is not my first time at this level of leanness. I just have a lot more muscle this time than I did before. So I guess by that respect, I am leaner than I was before because I'm at the same weight, just a ton more muscle. But I knew I could get here. Past this is where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? What am I going to look like? Where am I going to struggle? When will I struggle? I don't know. So we will see. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but another reason why, or I'm really glad that this diet break is coming to an end because I have been really bloated, and due to the food volume and the fiber. Before I went on diet break, I was trying really hard to make sure that I was incorporating foods that have plenty of fiber in them because I was eating more of a lower carb, higher fat diet, and so I wanted to make sure that I was still getting the fiber that my body needs in. And so the way I approached this diet break was to just add more of the same foods into my diet, just more volume of food as opposed to processed, crappy foods that were going to be make it hard for me to go back into deficit again. So that was the method to my madness. The bloating and how uncomfortable I've been. I just feel like a roly-poly. I really don't feel awesome. And that's one reason why I haven't done a physique update right in the last couple weeks or taken very many pictures. If you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, it is, I put it on the screen here, shieldmaiden_Dory. And I always post something on Instagram daily, whether if it's not in my feed, then I'm posting on my story. Usually I'm only posting my feed when it's something that I feel is, not a goal, but when there's something I'm really proud of, maybe a lift or something that I want to share with a bigger group of people. And when I share stuff on my story, it's just trivial stuff, just fun little add-ins and no real method to my madness, not trying to accomplish anything, just, I don't know, posting stuff because I think social media is fun. I enjoy it. Anyway, okay, yeah, so I guess that's about it for the update on my diet break on day 10. Ready for it to be over. Saturday's the last day of the diet break. And I am really glad. Yeah, Saturday didn't even count as part of the diet break because Saturday I'm going over my calories. That's happening. Anyway, I guess, let's talk about that real quick as far as cheat meals are concerned. I've only had one in this entire prep. I had one cheat meal. There have been maybe a handful of days I've been non-compliant on my diet, and what I mean by non-compliant is maybe I had an extra 100 or 200 calories. That's happened maybe a handful of times, and it's usually around the time where I'm hormonal and craving something that I shouldn't have right now, or that I really want right now, so I let myself have it. My first cheat meal was 8 weeks into the 18 weeks. No, it was 18 pounds, 12 weeks. Okay, so it was 8 weeks into the 12 weeks. I was like, I needed one. I was ready. I just needed a break. It's kind of, and that's how I'm feeling right now. I was like, I don't feel like this diet break has been a true break because it's still very structured. It's not like you take 2 weeks off and are just like, woo, let my hair down. Gonna have, X amount of calories and whatever macro breakdown, I want it to be. It's not like that. It's still structured. And so I need a day to just let loose. So that's going to be Saturday. But it won't be all day, just the back half of the day. And I really only wanted it to be the evening, but I am going Saturday to take my licensing exam for massage. And so once I pass that, then it's going to be we're going to have a celebratory like brunch, lunch type. Well, after I finish the exam, I'm going to the gym because I'm going to get my lift in. I believe I am squatting, but I might turn it into deadlift. I think I'm going to deadlift because, yeah, deadlift helps me eat. So I'm going to go get my lift in and just kill it. And then we're going to go do a sushi type brunch deal. And then that night, we're going to the Smoke Pit, which is a new restaurant in my area that we haven't been yet. Because it opened up after I started my prep before the prep, the weight that I needed to lose before I went into prep. So we haven't had the opportunity to go yet. And I really was craving barbecue with coleslaw and hush puppies. And maybe it's a southern thing or a North Carolina thing. I don't know. But I decided weeks, probably months at this point ago, that the next cheat meal that I had was going to be the Smoke Pit. And then I want to go to Publix for some type of bakery item. I haven't decided yet, but whatever my heart desires That's what I'm going to have. And, yes, there's more. I am going to have my Easter candy. So, I bought Nerd jelly beans and Sweetheart jelly beans. And I'm going to share those bags with my daughter. I was like, I'm not going to eat both of these bags, but I'm going to have some of that candy on that day too. So, have it all planned out. Okay, anyway, now what? Okay, 15 minutes. Something else that I wanted to discuss is I watched a video on YouTube earlier talking about like contest prep, how to explain contest prep to your family members or people around you who don't understand like what you're doing. And so I was just going to reshare that video, but I was like, I don't really want to tell people my message through someone else. So, because I have some things to add, and I have just more I want to say on the topic than the person who did the original video said. So, first of all, I think it's really important for people to understand that when you compete, it is not a weight loss competition. When I stand on that stage in August, the judges that are looking at me are not going to care that I used to be, decades ago, I used to be overweight or obese, to be more precise. They're not going to care about that. They don't care that I had to lose 30 to 40 pounds to even step on stage. They don't care what my weight is. They don't care any of that. The only thing that those judges are going to care about is what my physique looks like. And for figure, each division is different. You have bikini, and so I'm going to do them in order. You have bikini, figure, physique, and then women's bodybuilding, which has kind of fallen by the wayside over the past few years. Physique has kind of become the new women's bodybuilding. But at any rate, whatever the label is put on it, each class requires a different level of leanness. So with bikini being the least lean, figure being the next lean level of leanness. And that's the division that I'm doing. So in that division, what the judges are looking for are going to be my conditioning. And that is, how lean are you? The point is to get enough body fat off to be able to see the shape of the muscle, the striations in the muscle. You can't see that when you have fat covering the muscle. It's hard to judge muscle when you can't see it. So when you're doing a contest prep, you have to get down to levels of leanness that don't necessarily look awesome when you're not on stage. So a lot of people are going to say you've lost too much weight, or if I'm speaking to people who know me, you're going to think that I have lost too much weight, or that I already look good. You look good. You don't need to lose any more weight. That's not what it's about. This is a whole different ballgame. This is not about looking like a Victoria's Secrets model, all soft and just really thin. It's about proportions, and it's about symmetry. It's about muscle shape. I mean, you're judged on things that you can't even help, as far as like where genetics come into play for this sport. There's nothing that I can do to change the origin and insertions of my muscles. It's like they insert the way that they do, they are shaped the way that they are shaped, and I'll have like I'm short, so typically my origin, where the muscle originates on your bone, to the insertion where it inserts onto either another bone or usually lower down on the same bone, it's usually a shorter space, so the muscle belly is shorter and usually more bulbous. Not always, but usually shorter people do better in bodybuilding because we have shorter muscles, which kind of make it look better, as opposed to people who are tall. Their origin is so far from their insertion that their muscles are more elongated. Not always. There are some people whose bodies look beautiful and they're tall, but typically, generally speaking, taller people do have a harder time getting that bulky look. Yeah, so figure being, like I said, judged on symmetry, levels of leanness, which is also a term you'll hear is called conditioning, and your proportions. Like for figure, for instance, it is more the X frame. That's maybe like this, with these being your shoulders, and right here being your waist, and then your quads. So you've got shoulders, broad shoulders, small waist, and like shapely legs, shapely quads, and then from the back, not necessarily like these bubbly glutes, but just like a nice glute ham tie-in. At least that's my understanding, and I'm competing in OCB Federation. So if I'm wrong, feel free to let me know. Most people on the internet don't waste time letting you know when you're wrong. So, but to my best knowledge, that is what is being judged. Now, because it would not be a woman's sport if there wasn't more criteria than just that being judged. The other criteria that women are judged on in the sport of bodybuilding, no matter the division, well, I won't say no matter the division. I know for bikini and for figure, I can't really speak to physique or bodybuilding because I've just never been interested in either one of those, so I have never really paid it any attention. But for figure and bikini, you're judged also on your hair, your makeup, your tan. Is it dark enough? Is it applied evenly? Your suit choice, does the color look good on you? Did you pick did you pick the right connectors for your frame? Just every little detail is judged. And then of course your stage presence. With bikini, it's going to be more, flirty and sassy and sexy, whereas figure is more regimented, and you have these certain poses that you hit. I mean, you still have a little bit of, sassy flair or whatever. You can put your personality into it, but it's not nearly as flirty and sassy as bikini. So that's the reason. One of the reasons why I choose figure is because it lends more to my personality type, more so than more so than bikini. Yeah, so that's that. That's pretty much, I guess, all I want to say as far as contest prep is concerned is, oh yeah, and anybody, man or woman, probably especially a man, that is getting ready for a bodybuilding show, just don't call them skinny. Just be like, oh, you're getting so skinny. And one of the points that Paul brought up, Paul Ravella, he's the one whose video I watched earlier today. One point that he brought up is that, like, when people see you in your clothes and your clothes are getting too big, and you're wearing oversized clothes because you don't want to buy new ones, you're going to look like you're just wasting away. You're just going to look really small, but then, obviously once you remove your shirt or pants or whatever, then that's when people will be like, damn, I didn't know all that was under there. And that's generally how it looks for natural athletes, is when in clothes you can't even tell they lift. They just look like small people. And then outside of clothes, they look jacked. They look really big. And that's another thing that I wanted to mention about being stage lean. To everyone around me who's never seen anyone get ready for a bodybuilding contest, when you see me, you're going to want with every fiber of your being, you're going to want to tell me how skinny I am. I'm going to ask you to not do that, because I don't want to be referred to as skinny, because I'm not skinny. It's lean. I'm lean. Skinny just has like this negative connotation, like, skinny. And I've worked very, very hard for the muscle that I have, and I just, I hate being called skinny. Like, just tell me, like, oh, yeah, looking lean. That's a really good term. That makes people who bodybuild feel better. Yeah, anyway. Just wanted to bring that up because I have had people call me that, not during this time of getting lean, but before, when I've gotten lean, people always want to tell me how skinny I am, and I'm like, I just want to like body slam them and be like, I'm strong, not skinny. Yeah, but can't go around body slamming people. It's frowned upon. So, yeah. I think that's all I have to say as far as contest prep is concerned. I know my videos are going to be hell long. This one's already 26 minutes long, and I don't really think there's anything I'm cutting out of it. So, yeah. I think I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to let everybody know how I'm doing with the reverse, that I haven't gained any weight. So if you're a person that is thinking about doing a reverse diet, has maybe a slower metabolism, because I'm one of those people who really believe I have a slower metabolism just naturally. Honestly, I don't really believe that I have a naturally slow metabolism. I just know that I'm a naturally sedentary person. Like, I just don't move a lot, because I'll get caught up in like reading and learning or studying. In this case, seeing as how I have my NBLEX, my licensing exam on Saturday, and I just get stuck sitting and doing for long periods of time. I just get so wrapped up that time gets away from me. So I was really worried about, introducing more calories and putting on weight. But another reason why I was worried, and I'm going to wrap this up, I swear. Another reason why I was worried is because historically speaking, I have not always dieted in the best ways. I've beat the shit out of my body and cut calories too fast, too soon, damage my metabolism. So the minute that I add calories back in, I gain a bunch of weight. And that has been what has happened to me in the past. So in order to do this correctly, the last 10 days I have not been weighing myself, because I was scared that if I saw an increase, I'd want to pull back. Be like, no, I have already enough weight to lose to get stage ready. I can't afford to gain any weight. And I haven't. And because I've done it correctly, I've made sure my carbohydrates are over 150 grams every day. And I've been making sure that my calories don't fall below 20% higher than deficit. I've just been really trying to do it right, I guess is what I'm saying. And it's been a struggle, but here we are, day 10, and doing good. So yeah, guess we're done here, because if I don't end it, then I'll keep talking. And using my computer as lighting. And since this video is 28 minutes and 52 seconds, pretty sure there's like a ton of things that you can be doing now. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I will be more than happy to chat you up. If you have anything negative to say, go to someone else's channel and post it there, because I'll just delete and block you. So I don't have time for that in my life. Other than that, have a great day, and maybe I'll see you soon.